Welcome back. This is Building Metabolic Fitness. And today we're going to talk about the swim, specifically for the multi-sport athlete. Last time we talked about your total program, as well as an intensity mix within that program. And I gave you the tip that you should probably assume, particularly if you're starting out, that your swim volume and your run volume is relatively intense, tempo or threshold. So let's dig into that statement a little bit more so you can assess where you're at. The first thing that I recommend you do is you have a look at two things. What's your average workout duration of actual swimming for your longest session of the week? Are you hitting 90 minutes of swimming, not of time at the pool? The second thing is, what is the likely metabolic intensity of that swim? And if you're like, well, don't really know, well, here's a way to check. There's a video on my YouTube channel called Benchmarking Your Swim. And in that video, I give you a whole bunch of different things you can do to assess yourself. One of the things is a 5x400 set that is on 10 seconds rest. So it's 2,000 meters of swimming, 10 seconds of rest between the 400s, and your only goal is to go a little bit quicker on each swim. So let's have a look at me. This is the last time I did it. So it's rep 2 to 6, and my aerobic range is about 140 per 100 meters down to red zone, which would be 122 per 100 meters. So I've got a range of swim gears available to me, gear 1 to gear 5. And you could also think about these if you use Friel zones or Hellerman zones, kind of zone 1 to 5, and going light green in zone 1 to bright red in zone 5 there when I'm at that 122 per 100. Now, if you are a relatively low volume, low frequency swimmer, one of the things you'll notice when you do this workout is your second rep might be a little bit quicker, and then you're going to plateau quite quickly in terms of pace. You're not going to have this range of paces available to you. If that's the case, you should assume that your swimming is tempo, threshold, or red zone. You don't have a green zone option yet. So what you're going to need to do is shorter reps, and you're going to need to slow down and relax and effectively be using walk run, but in the pool. So you got to dial down the intensity as much as you can. And one of the things you're probably also finding is your swims leave you really tired. And that's because you don't have the ability to do easy endurance work in the water. So for most of us, that means it's going to be a challenge to get our volume up consistently. So 2 tips for that. I recommend you can do swim focus blocks where it's 1 or 2 weeks or even up to 4 weeks long, where you're going to increase your frequency and get your volume up by swimming often. And the other thing is to make sure that you get these easy warm-ups and easy cool downs, and you're getting a long swim that's about 90 minutes long. It will really help, particularly if you're a swimmer where you feel that you've been plateaued. So you can boost, a good time to boost your swim focus is the month that's the worst for cycling or being outside. February is a good one if you're in the northern hemisphere, and it's planned to have a high frequency swim block and try and lift yourself. And you can put these weeks in from time to time, and you can boost yourself. Now remember, the goal is not necessarily to be going faster. The goal is getting more efficient in the water. If you're a late onset swimmer, like I was, I started when I was 30, you didn't grow up with it, there's a huge skill component. And working harder in the water is not generating a whole lot of speed for you. So I hope that points you in the right direction with your swimming. One final tip is that if, as a multi-sport athlete, if you get fit in the water, you're probably going to see the benefit of that later in your race. because you won't have burnt so much energy coming out of the water. My swim at Ultraman is what set up that victory for me, because it took very little out of me to swim the 10,000 meters that kick off the race. And it put me in a position to treat the bike ride like a one-day race and do a really strong 145 KTT in the mountains there in Hawaii. So I hope you get that kind of success too. Now, next time, we're going to be talking about nutrition, because nutrition is a key component of all the things we've been talking about. I look forward to that.